Hi everyone, Ron Crider here again. This time we're talking about Barix boxes and how to find them on your network. The easiest way to do that is get their discovery tool. The way you do that is go to the internet and type in Barix downloads, B-A-R-I-X, and it will show up as on your search engine as a Barix download, firmware download. Click on that. You'll have to log in order to get that. It doesn't cost anything, and I've already done so. Then go to Tools, go to the Discovery Tool. When you get to the Discovery Tool, click on this little thing here. It's in red. There you go. And it's going to download. This is going to be a zip file. And as soon as it opens up, we're going to click on here. Let's show it in a folder. Now we'll have to extract this, so let's click on here and extract it. I have a very slick extracting tool there, but there it goes. Now there's another thing you must have in order to make this work, and that's Java. So make sure you have downloaded Java, because you'll see when I bring it up, you see there's a little Java insignia here. It's kind of hard to see, but it'll say discover.jar. And when you open that up, you have a blank screen. Now, if you're on the same network, you must be on the same network in your studio of where your Barix boxes are. Hit get, and voila, there they all are. Those are all the Barix boxes that I currently have. I want to show you something very slick about these Barix boxes. Let me go to one that I call a spare. Here's a spare. If you want to change the IP address of that Barix box, you can change it to just about anything. I mean, if you want to change it to, let me put something in there that 96.80.81.49. I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to mark that as set. And it says no error. That's okay. It's happy with that. Now, if it were to say error, that would mean it isn't going to work there. So you can put that in there. Now, here's an issue. I've just put that in there, and I'm going to go to the web browser to try to bring it up. And chances are pretty good it's not going to come up. Now, the reason it's not going to come up is because that's a static IP address, and I can't get to it in my computer here because the computer is not on the network where the static IP addresses are. So let's go back to the Barix box, and let's go back in here again. Well, this could be a problem. Well, you don't want to do that. So you want to get all your settings set correctly. So let's put it back at something you can get to, which is 192.168.1.77. Or let's make it .178. Get that right, Crider. .178. And we're going to say set. Okay, now we click on the web browser. Here we go. And we are at the Barix box. Now we have a couple of pointers about this Barix. This happens to be a in-streamer, and it is a studio encoder, which means it is a transmitter. It's going to send the information to the transmitter site or to somebody. One of the things you want to do, I want to remind you about this early on in your streaming process, is be sure in your basic settings, let's go to network and basic settings. Here it says use sonic IP. Now, the reason one would use sonic IP is if you wanted it to tell you, if you plug your earphone into that unit, it will tell you what the IP address is. Well, you don't want that on because if it goes down in the middle of the night or something, it's going to broadcast that out to the world when you try to bring it up to find out what it is. So you are going to have to turn that off. It can be a problem turning it off because then you can't find it again. But with the Discovery Tool, you can find it. So just say no and apply that to it. Another thing that I would like to suggest you do, this is a pretty important item because it helps you find them, especially if you have a number of Barix boxes in your system. If you do, go back to configuration again. And you should go to your network, and here where it says DHCP hostname, type something in here so you know what it is. In this particular case, it's my spare InStreamer, so I just type spare InStreamer in there. Now, the reason for that is this. When I go out of here and I go back to my Discovery tool, it will tell me in there that this is the spare InStreamer. So that's a little short video just to give you an idea about this Discovery tool and that you can go in there. Now let's clear this out. Start over again, hit get. Here we are, and everything is back to normal the way it's supposed to be. And the spare unit is right here, and it's 178. It kept the IP address. Now, if you have to put a static IP in or something like that, like we did before, but we couldn't get to it, you may have to do that because you're going to take it out to your transmitter site, and when you get out there, it does have a static IP, and you already put it in before you got there, and you can set it up that way. If you run into a problem and you get to your transmitter site, then download the Discovery tool one more time and bring it up, and it will help you do this. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave me a like if you like it. Subscribe to my channel, and every time I put new things up here about broadcasting, I'll be happy to give them. You will get them. They'll get sent to you, and you'll know exactly what's going on. If you need to reach me, text me at 772-913-2209. Don't forget a like or subscribe. Have a great day.